What's going on, everybody? Welcome back. FantasyTeamAdvisors.com, bringing them the bacon NFL DFS video. We are breaking down Sunday Night Football. We're ready to go. Minnesota, Indianapolis. We've got a great game. If you're new to the channel, welcome. Hit the like button, hit the subscribe button. Leave a comment so we know you love the content. Now, if you are here just for picks and that is it, that is not really what we do here. We are here to make you a better DFS player. So we're going to go over the statistics of how to build some lineups and how to correlate those. And then at the end of this, we're going to build a FanDuel and a DraftKings, a few FanDuel or DraftKings lineups using the information that we have. So you can skip ahead to the chapters to just building if that's what you're looking for. But we've got statistics going back to last year to now of how to build the lineups, and that's exactly what we want to do. So make sure you check out FantasyTeamAdvisors.com. You can check it out for $10 for a week. That gets you a week of all of this content that we have, so every sport that we offer. $30 for a month, $100 or $200 for a year, $500 for a lifetime pass. Now, right now, we have a few coupon codes left. If you click on FTA Plus, go to the yearly pass, normally $199. Use the promo code NBA is back, all one word, all capital letters. Instead of $199, you're going to get it for $74.99 while supplies last. So go check that out. So, as always, these videos are sponsored by Outlier.bet. You can find the link to sign up down below. We love to use them for sports betting, which I will link at the end of this video, because in that video, we went over some of our favorite sports bets for the entire Sunday football and Monday night football game. So those bets are in there. So make sure you check that out. You can also sign up using our link. Also, a completely free Discord. That Discord link is in the description of this video. So search for it because it is there. It is completely free. And we are here to help you become better DFS players. So speaking of that, looking at data from last year, 84% of the nuts lineups building throughout on DraftKings have had at least one quarterback. I think we probably need both quarterbacks in this situation, but we will build some lineups different ways as well. 6% of the winning lineups use the entire $50,000 salary on DraftKings. I don't feel like you have to use all of the salary. It's what a lot of people get in their mind, and you do not have to do that. 16% of the winning lineups had a $200 player or less. So there's not really much that look like anything. Powell, maybe. I wouldn't use him. Gaskin, maybe a little bit. I wouldn't use him. A lot of things have to go wrong for you to use a $200 player. Looking at that, 80% of the winning lineups had a $4,000 or less player on their in their lineups. So that's Naylor here and then down. So looking at that, well, there's some that I don't mind, and they have some good matchups here. So we can definitely take a look at that if you build your lineups out there. The average amount of salary that people have used in winning lineups has been $47,500. So again, you're leaving $2,500 on the table. Do not feel like you need to use the entire salary. So now we look at stacks. So stacks are the big thing that everybody likes to use, which for the most part, the majority of the time, they make a lot of sense. And that's kind of how you got to differentiate yourself from the pack. So looking at that, a 4-2 stack has been the winner or tied for winning lineup 44% of the time since last year. 3-3 stack has been 36% of the time, and a 5-1 stack has been 21% of the time. So they have been there, and they have actually done pretty well using those stacks. So that is definitely a strategy that we will use and utilize while building DraftKings and FanDuel lineups. Now we look at captain percentages, captain or MVP. Captain, all of the stats are for DraftKings because that's where I play, but we will still build on FanDuel. So 39% of the time, a wide receiver has been in that captain spot in a winning lineup. 28% of the time, it's been a running back. 17% of the time, it's been a quarterback. 7% of the time, it's been a tight end. 7% of the time, it's been a defense. And 2% of the time, it has been a kicker in that captain spot. Now, with the way these two offenses have gone this year, I don't foresee it being a kicker's game, unlike we've seen some pretty bad primetime games. I don't see that being the case here. Now, we look at the over-unders currently at the making of this video Saturday night. We have it opened as 47.5. It is now 46.5. with the Vikings being a 5.5 point favorite. Vikings have an implied team total of 25.2. We've got the Colts with a 22.33 implied team total. Now, Anthony Richardson, that very bad quarterback, he's gone. He is done. He is benched. He's too tired to play. we've got Joe Flacco, which I love Joe Flacco. I love him in the lineup. I think it makes this the wide receivers better in this game. And that's exactly what we are going to do. So we are going to look at this. We're going to use our matchup tool as well, which I will show you right now. So I've got this, and so I've obviously filtered it from just these, but this is the way we've gone about it, and people have been loving it. So that is what we're looking at. Looking at this, as you can see, this is the quarterback position. Let me make it a little bit bigger. Okay. So the Colts, they rank 26 out of 32 in the red zone, which means the Vikings could be in store for a good game. They've given up 300-plus games to opposing quarterbacks. They've 11 touchdowns, only 4 interceptions. Rushing quarterbacks, they've given up 2 touchdowns. On DraftKings, they rank 23rd out of 32, giving up an average of 18.8, while on FanDuel, they rank 23rd out of 32, giving up 18.5. And then we look at the Vikings, kind of the same thing. Their defense, 23rd, like there might not be a ton of defense in this game. There could be a lot of offense in this game, which I absolutely love. You can see both similar, giving up the same amount of passing yards, but the Vikings defense have 12 interceptions to the 4 interceptions for the Colts. That's the big difference there. They also haven't given up much to the rush, and they rank 24th right after Indy against on DraftKings, and 24th right after Indy, giving up 19. So this could be, and that's just to the quarterback. So this could be a game that I do not mind whatsoever. I don't know if I'll use the much defense, but we'll see when we build. So then we look against the running backs. You can see Indy, they're pretty good in the red zone. They're ranked 5th compared to Minnesota in 11th. They have given up 986 yards. Indy has given up 986 yards for 100-plus rushing games to the opposing running backs, giving up 292 yards through the air. And then they are ranked 22nd against the running back, giving up 25.2 fantasy points per game against the opposing running back. And then Minnesota, you can see a little bit better. With the rushes, they've given up about 400 less yards. They rank 9th, so they're very good against the running back on both FanDuel and DraftKings. Then we look at the wide receivers. You can see the Vikings have given up 10 touchdowns to opposing wide receivers, where Indy has given up 7. And you can see the Minnesota Vikings are dead last against opposing wide receivers, giving up 48.3 DraftKings fantasy points per game and 39.9 FanDuel points per game. Whereas we can see the Colts ranked 19th on both FanDuel and DraftKings, giving up 33.9 and 28 fantasy points respectively. PPR for DraftKings is what makes the difference in the scoring. And then the tight ends, it really just depends. So using the matchup tool, using the information that we just talked about on the other side where we want to stack, we're going to build a few lineups here. So with the Vikings being about a 3, implied team totals, it's kind of a close game. I honestly think it's kind of a close game. But as we see, we know that the wide receiver is the big one where the majority of the time they've been in the captain spot. Now, I think everyone's going to go with Justin Jefferson. He's 11,600. I want to go down, or on here is 17.4. But I'm going to go down to Josh Downs. He's got a great matchup here. He's got a great rapport with Joe Flacco. Even last week with Richardson, he did very well. So I love this matchup for Josh Downs. I'm going to put him at my captain spot because in my mind, I'm building this lineup thinking Minnesota's going to be up and Flacco is going to have to just chuck the ball up a ton, and I think that's where we want to go with this one. So I'm going to get both quarterbacks in here because I think that's the way we're going to go. TJ Hawkinson is back. I want to get him in there. Now we're at 5,800 to go both sides. So we're 2-2 right now. This is where it gets a little bit different. So Pittman, he is there. Even with Richardson, we see what he did. He hasn't done anything the past couple of weeks. He is there. I think they're going to be playing from behind. Again, technically, he's the wide receiver 1 in this lineup. So that brings us to 3,800. So Colts defense, I don't know if I really want to go with Colts defense the way we're building this. You've got Mitchell, where, again, if they're playing from behind, he's going to have to get a lot of run there. You got Trey Sermon here. Game log, I believe he had a touchdown called back or something last week, so it could have been better than what it was. He's got 2 touchdowns on the year, 127 yards. So it just depends on where you want to go here. You want to go Cam Akers going up against them. Really hasn't done anything the past 3 weeks. Week 5 against Houston, he did stuff. He was Actually, he was with Houston, and he got traded back to Minnesota. It depends. Johnny Munt, I don't know how much run he's going to have now that Hawkinson is back, but he is also an option for you there. Chandler could be one. Now, looking at this, game log-wise really hasn't done much, but it really will depend on how Aaron Jones, if he's 100%. Now, it looks like he's 100%, had a few good games in a row there. We got to get a little creative building this lineup out here. I think, again, now these are different ways to build. I think what I'm going to do is I'm going to go with Chandler here. Just maybe he steals a couple of goal line looks and gets a couple of touchdowns if Aaron Jones goes down hurt, or if Aaron Jones goes 3 and out and then they bring him in, and that's kind of my thought process in this one. So it's going to be one lineup that I use. Now that is a 3-3 stack, which, like we talked about in the beginning of this video, that is taking it down 36% of the time. So that's one way that I want to build with Josh Downs. I think he's going to go under-owned in that captain spot. Now, another one I want to look at, I think everyone's going to be on him, but Justin Jefferson. I'm putting him with Darnold. Now, he kind of takes the flexibility down a little bit, but let's do one of the kickers for Indy, because let's just say we look at Matt Gay here, 9, 12, 8, 10, 9, so he's been pretty consistent getting the run. Either he's going to get a field goal opportunity or an extra point if Flacco connects with, which I think he will. I think I want to get Hawkinson in there as well. Mitchell, if we're not paying up, he's still in a great spot. Everyone's going to be on Downs. Everyone's going to be on Pittman. You got to get a little different. I think Mitchell makes a lot of sense. And now we're at 8,200. So we can get Josh Downs in there. We can get Addison in there, which I don't like as much. You can get Pittman. I'm going with Downs in this one. So this is a 3-3 stack again, with Justin Jefferson being that captain spot here. And I feel pretty comfortable with this one. The kicker's the one that, you could go down to 5. If you went off of Matt Gay, you have 5,000 you could look at. You could go here. He is, he's done well. You know what? I might go with him instead. I'm gonna go a 4-2 stack here. I like that kicker a little bit more than I do there, and that's my thought process building a lineup here for DraftKings. Now, we've got that. So if we looked at this and we looked at the breakdown, a running back has been 28% of the time in that spot. So what does that look like if we were building off of that? I think we can check it out. It's going to get a little weird, but I think we're able to have a decent game. Now, in my mind, let's say Darnold reverts back and we need to take the Colts as a defense. I think we could do that as well. I think we got Jonathan Taylor at the captain spot. I think we got Aaron Jones there as well. I think we got Downs. I think we got the Colts defense as well. We got Reichard as well, which he's a kicker, like we talked about. Using him, we've got 7,900. We could go Pittman. We could go Hawkinson. This is one where no quarterback is in this one, which, we got to get a little different. So you could go Hawkinson in there, who's making his debut this week. You could go Pittman in there, who's got a great matchup there with no quarterback. I don't know if this is going to be the way to do it, but this is a different way to build with our running back as the captain spot for this lineup. And we will do one more lineup building off of using, let's say we use a quarterback. Now, let's say we're going Joe Flacco as our captain spot, and we think he's going to have a good game. So I think we can get both of the quarterbacks in there. I think we got Flacco there. I think we could get Darnold in this lineup as well. I want to put Downs in there, so I want Flacco throwing to Downs. Depending on where we're at, I think we could go with Jones. So now we're at 3,800 the rest of the way, which is a little iffy, but with the way the lineups have gone, you could definitely see maybe a defense. The Vikings defense has been pretty good at 5,200. If we use that, we're at 2,500, which now we've got Cam Akers, you've got Oliver, you've got Mo Alley Cox. So if you look at what he's done, again, hasn't done anything the past couple of weeks, so that's a little bit unfortunate. There's so many mouths to feed in that tight end room for Indy. It's a little bit weird. You got Akers who's in there. Maybe Akers comes in and does something which he has not done. It will really depend if he's active or not. They've got Myles Gaskin, who was a healthy inactive last week. Akers was the number 3 behind Jones and Ty Chandler, so that is definitely, a lot has to happen for Akers to be in there. So, I mean, this one's a weird build because if we do the Vikings defense, it's really off. So let's take the Vikings defense out, and we're at 3,800 around, give her a round. So let's go Ty Chandler there. Now we're at 5,100 building. We got Reichard, we got Gay, we got Naylor, we got the Colts defense. I think I'm going to go Reichard yet again. So we're looking at a 4-2 stack with Minnesota. We've got both quarterbacks. We've got one kicker. We've got a backup running back with the main RB1 there. I do not mind these lineups. Now, these are just some lineups. If you want to see other things, you want to see a full cheat sheet of all the plays we like for this showdown, that is under the NFL tab, and that is down here. We also have projections for FanDuel. We have projections for DraftKings. We have chalk plays. We have Vegas odds. We've got red zone stats. We've got a cheat sheet, which has for the main slate, it's got the showdowns. So we have Thursday night showdown. We have Sunday night showdown. We have Monday night showdown. We have lineups in there. There are tabs for lineups. There are tabs for stacks. We've already built a stacks video, which I will put at the end of this video, along with our favorite betting video. So make sure you check out all of our content at FantasyTeamAdvisors.com and here on YouTube. But now, let's build some FanDuel lineups. So building's a little bit different on FanDuel because we have one less spot that we can do. So we'll kind of look at that. There's a total of 5 spots. We got the MVP spot, which is the exact same thing as the captain. So there's just different ways to go about it. Now, if we use our matchup tool and we see for like running back situation, the Colts against the running back, they rank 22nd. They are not good. Against the quarterback, again, they're 23rd, where Vikings are 24th. So I think Aaron Jones, as long as he stays healthy, could be a good smash spot there. A little bit cheaper option than going with Justin Jefferson at the MVP spot. I think we're probably able to get both quarterbacks in here. Darnold's there. Now we're at 10,200 the rest of the way. I think we could get Josh Downs. I foresee Josh Downs being in the winning lineup no matter what. Now, we could go Hawkinson. We could go their kicker. We could go Tyson Chandler. I think, so my bet would say Hawkinson here, and then we do this exact same lineup, but we put their kicker in there. So that's kind of what I think I'm going to do. So I'm going to import that lineup for me. So this is how my thought process is. I want to get both sides here. So I want to get Will Reichard in there. You could also go Alec Pierce, who, again, is technically wide receiver 3 there. He's had a good game here against Jacksonville, had a good game against Green Bay. But, again, there's so many mouths to feed in this offense. Maybe he's not going to get it. But this is one where I start this one. You could go back. Instead of Reichard, you could put in Alec Pierce there. So that's technically 2 lineups that we built, but we can go a different direction. I think we can get a quarterback in the captain spot. I think I want to look at Darnold. So who is Darnold going to throw to? Pittman. Like everyone's going to be on Justin Jefferson. I get that. Or not Pittman, Hawkinson, sorry. So we can get Hawkinson in there. We could get Pittman in there. I think we get Aaron Jones in there because if they go up big, maybe they just feed him and he runs. So you could get Flacco in there. Flacco would be thrown to Pittman instead of Downs. So if you took you don't have the money for, or we do. So we could take Pittman out and we could Josh Downs in there. We used all the money. We've got both quarterbacks. One is an MVP. One is not, even though he was a Super Bowl MVP, right? Flacco was... Let me know down below. Was Flacco the Super Bowl MVP in Super Bowl 40? I don't know when it was. I can't remember. But yeah, let me know down below. I don't want to look it up. So that's another lineup we can build. Now, depending on where you want to go, we can't forget about Jonathan Taylor. As long as he could stay healthy, he's usually very good when healthy. So let's put him in the MVP spot. Let's get Flacco in there because I think they're going to be playing from behind. Let's get him throwing to Josh Downs. So now we've got 10,000 for 2 spots. So where do we want to go with that? Do we want to go with Aaron Jones at 12? Do we want to go with Pittman? Do we want to go with Hawkinson? Do we want to go with Reichard? If we went Reichard there, we're at 11,000. We could get Pittman in there, and it's a 4-1 stack there. We could get Hawkinson, who's got a great spot here, and he's back. Maybe he's itching to get in there. You also have Jordan Addison. Now, Addison coming in, had one good game so far this year. That's it. That's what scares me a little bit in this matchup. So I think let's go Pittman. This is a full stack for Indy. Let's say they're playing from behind, and that's kind of our thought process there. So We have got a 4-1 stack there on DraftKings, which I don't have the data for that. If anyone knows where to get that, I would love to put that in our research as well. That is definitely a spot that I think I would like to at least have on the back burner in case it ever comes down to it. Let's do one more lineup with Flacco being our MVP. So give me 1 second, and I will see about putting him in the MVP spot one time. So putting him in the MVP spot, it's at 13.5, so we're going to save a little bit of money. I think I want him throwing to Josh Downs. I want to get Sam Darnold in there. We haven't had, I don't even know if it's possible. So now we're at 5,000. We could go Gaskin, who I don't know if he'll be in there. How much do we have to take away to get a kicker in there? We got to go. We can't save 4,000. So you could get Myles Gaskin, who didn't play last week, and he's got minus 0.25 rushing yards per game, which is very bad. We're not able to get this one in here at all. So let's take Jefferson out. Now we're at 10,000 for these two. We could look at those, and if we look at this, we go Reichard, and now we're at 12. We get Aaron Jones in there as well. You could also go Pittman. You could go Addison. You could go Hawkinson as well. So we're saving 500. We're putting 500, leaving 500 on the board. We've got Flacco throwing to Downs. Then we got Darnold. We've got Jones, and we also have Will Reichard there as well. So that is the breakdown for Sunday Night Football. Just a little glimpse in it. If you want to see the cheat sheet, if you want to see everything else like that, you can check it out for $10 for a week. FantasyTeamAdvisors.com. Hit that FTA Plus tab. Or if you've already tried us and you want to get that awesome deal for the yearly pass, normally $199, get it for $74.99 using the promo code NBA is back. All one word, all capital letters. So that is what I've got. Questions, comments, concerns, get those down below. Make sure you follow us on all social media. Everything is in the description, and get in that Discord. It is completely free Discord. We are there to hopefully help you become a better DFS player. So that's what I've got. Good luck on Sunday Night Football. Hopefully you guys had success for the main slate during Sunday whenever you watch this video. Hopefully you brought home some bacon, and let's bring home some bacon on Sunday Night Football. Peace.